Hi, I'm Sam Orlich, a product specialist here in Madrid, Spain for Heritage Audio. Today I'll be presenting the MCM-20.4. It's a rack-mountable analog summing mixer, a very nice alternative to using a traditional recording console, as it offers up to 20 inputs in a relatively small space. Now I'd like to discuss the different connections on the back panel of the MCM-20.4. As you can see, the majority of these connections are actually on DSEB25. Very convenient cable wiring following the Tascam protocol, which allows up to 8 channels of send or return. What you do is you grab one of these DSEB cables, 25-pin male, slip this in the back here, and the inputs goes in very easily. Then on either side, you've got screws here. You just tighten that up all the way in. Make sure you've got a solid connection. And you've got your first 8 inputs ready to go. Now what you're going to see, you also have 8 sends and 8 returns. I should mention that the sends are always active, allowing for a connection for direct outputs if you'd like. Okay, following on here, we also have another set of DSEB connections for the subgroup outs, the inserts, and the returns. Also on this first set of outputs are the sends. On the second, we have an additional 4 aux returns. Directly above that, we have the master inserts. So we have a send and a return on XLRs. And then we've got the mix output as well as a monitor output, also on XLRs. So what you're going to want to do here, for example, take another simple XLR cable, grab the female side, slip that into one of the outputs, take the male side, slip that into the input on your sound card, your DAW, your tape recorder, whatever you might be using for recording. Now you can do the same for the monitors. Maybe you're going to be hooking this up to a monitor controller directly to your speakers. Take the female side, take the male side, and slip that into your monitor to controller. Okay, that about does it. Okay, now I'd like to discuss the different features for our MCM-20.4. First, you're going to notice we have got 2 rows of inputs, 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, each one with a volume control on the inner pot and a pan on the outer ring with a center detent for locating in the center position. To the right of each control, you have a white button for the on-off for each channel, as well as a button to activate the insert, a balanced insert send and return for each channel. Now, on each row, each of these 8 inputs is summed up into a subgroup, the first one being subgroup 1 and 2. For 9 through 16, they're subbed up here in subgroups 3 and 4. Now, these are both passively combined to go on to the master output. These as well have an on-off as well as an insert for each subgroup. And each input also has the possibility of accessing up to 4 aux sends. Aux 1 and 2 is the normal position, 1 being in the middle section here on the middle pot, and 2 being adjustable on the outer ring. But if you hit this button right here, the red button, you're going to switch to a stereo aux send, stereo 3. And here, once again, you've got the main send on the inside pot and the balance for the effect send on the outer ring. This can also be pre if you're interested, maybe for a headphone mix or something. The normal position is post send, but you do have the option of selecting it as being pre as well. Okay. Then at the end of this row, you'll find the master sends for aux 1 and 2, aux 1 being in the inside and 2 being on the outside. Okay. Down at the bottom row here, you'll also find the master send for aux 3 and 4, a stereo sound. Okay? Now, I have to mention that these are summed passively together to this master fader here, which also has its own on-off switch, as well as a red button to also activate a stereo insert on the master bus. That should do it. Okay, I hope we've been able to go over any doubts or questions you may have had about this unit. Nonetheless, always feel free to get in contact with us through our webpage at Heritage Audio.